Ancient Egypt is often remembered for its grand pyramids, elaborate burial rituals, and fascinating mythology, but its approach to sex and intimacy is equally intriguing. Unlike many other ancient civilizations, the Egyptians had a remarkably open and pragmatic view of sexuality. Their customs and beliefs surrounding love, relationships, and even fertility rituals reveal a society that embraced sex as an essential part of life. Here are some of the most surprising sex facts from ancient Egypt. 1. Nudity was not taboo. Unlike many modern societies, nudity in ancient Egypt was not seen as scandalous. Both men and women, especially those of lower social classes, frequently wore minimal clothing due to the hot climate. Depictions in art show children and even servants often appearing nude, and certain religious ceremonies involved nudity as a form of purity and devotion. Egyptian women also embraced sheer linen dresses, emphasizing the human body without shame. Women had sexual freedom compared to other ancient cultures. Egyptian women enjoyed a considerable amount of sexual autonomy. They had the right to initiate divorce, own property, and engage in relationships without societal condemnation. Some records suggest that love marriages were common, and while fidelity was expected, women were not as heavily restricted as in many patriarchal societies. 3. Love and eroticism in art and literature. Eroticism was openly expressed in Egyptian art and poetry. Love songs and romantic poems found on papyrus scrolls celebrate passion and intimacy. Some artwork from the New Kingdom period depicts couples in affectionate embraces, while certain tombs contain explicit depictions of sexual activity, reinforcing the idea that the Egyptians saw sex as a natural and vital aspect of existence. 4. Fertility rituals and magic. Sexuality was closely linked to fertility, and many rituals aimed at ensuring conception. Some spells and charms were used to enhance sexual pleasure or to attract a partner. Egyptian women believed in the power of magical amulets to increase their fertility, while men consumed aphrodisiac concoctions made from natural herbs. The gods were also believed to play a role in human sexuality, with deities such as Hathor and Min being associated with love, fertility, and virility. 5. Incest in the royal family. One of the most shocking aspects of Egyptian sexuality was the royal practice of incest. Pharaohs, believing themselves to be divine, often married their sisters or half-sisters to preserve the purity of their bloodline. This tradition was seen as a way to maintain the connection to the gods. Famous rulers such as Tutankhamun were the product of such unions, though modern studies suggest this may have led to genetic disorders. 6. The role of sex in religion. Sex was not only a physical act, but also a spiritual one in ancient Egypt. The story of Osiris and Isis is one of the earliest examples of resurrection mythology, where Isis magically conceives Horus after reassembling the body of her slain husband Osiris. Some temple rituals even involved sacred prostitution, where priestesses engaged in intercourse as part of fertility ceremonies. 7. The mysterious Turin erotic papyrus. One of the most explicit artifacts from ancient Egypt is the Turin erotic papyrus. Discovered in the 19th century, this document contains graphic depictions of sexual encounters, suggesting that Egyptians were not shy about their intimate lives. Scholars believe it may have been created for entertainment or as a satire of royal decadence. 8. Contraception and pregnancy tests. Egyptians had knowledge of birth control methods and early pregnancy tests. Women used honey, acacia, and crocodile dung as a form of contraceptive pessary inserted into the vagina to prevent pregnancy. They also developed an early form of pregnancy testing by urinating on wheat and barley seeds. If the grain sprouted, it indicated a successful conception. 9. Homosexuality in Egyptian society. Homosexuality was neither criminalized nor widely documented in Egyptian society. Some scholars interpret depictions of same-sex couples, such as the tomb of Ninkhenum and Khnumhotep, as evidence of homosexual relationships, though others argue they may have been close brothers. While there are few direct references to homosexuality, Egyptian culture seemed more accepting than later civilizations that condemned same-sex relationships. 10. Sex in the afterlife. Egyptians believed that sex continued beyond death. Tomb inscriptions sometimes included spells to ensure sexual pleasure in the afterlife. Pharaohs were buried with objects symbolizing fertility, and some tombs even contained explicit references to maintaining sexual function in eternity. Ancient Egypt's approach to sexuality was both open and complex, revealing a society that saw intimacy as an integral part of life, religion, and even the afterlife. Their pragmatic and accepting attitude toward love, pleasure, and reproduction offers a fascinating glimpse into one of history's most advanced civilizations.